Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and we are in the AL Formidable. This is one of the most requested ships you guys have ever asked for me to play, so I did do it. Now, I did play with builds along the way here, and very early on, I don't claim to be a carrier player by any means. I am terrible at carriers, but it is one thing I am learning now, and I am getting much better at. A few things, guys. Early on in this, I struggled. And there's got to be a few, I'm going to tell you a few reasons why I struggled that you should know about before you get into the ship, right? One thing is, very early on, I lost a lot of matches for a reason of there, you almost always go against enemy carriers in a division, right? Also, I don't think it's because I do videos or anything like that, but uh, carriers really wanted to target this thing. All right. So I switched my setup. I had different inspirations and stuff and a different build. And then I switched this up and I really had much better luck. So I would boost for your Formidable. We are using Azure Lane Formidable because that is a commander that, is made for the ship. We're using Yamaguchi for the AA damage and Kurt King for the firing range. And the second I switched over to more AA on this thing, I got left a little bit more alone, which was really good because I was getting focused really quick and dying very quick. Originally, I was doing a concealment build for this. I always like to get my concealment down in carrier so I can get up close, get more planes off. Again, I don't claim to be a carrier expert, but you guys requested this, so I'm going to do my best with it. But I did learn a lot in this ship, and this ship isn't as bad as I expected it to be. I I definitely am as bad as I expected to be, but the no-fly zone here in the first slot, dark silhouette here. You could take the torpedo if you're going to use this on a different, if you're going to use this for a different ship line or, the other British carriers. But this one doesn't have torpedoes. So here I'm using detectability. On this one, I was using out of sight. I much rather use this armored hangar because if you're up against a lot of AA, getting your plane back when you're low on stuff is very handy. And what you end up doing because you have this perk is you end up using your HE bombers until they're out. That way you can get them back a little bit quicker, and then you switch to your AP. And then we are using Burn Baby Burn. I thought about this, but because we're not running detectability, I actually think this one is a much better help. And then here, you could take either one of these. I did fully packed just to get the extra consumable, but honestly, probably the vault if you had it more levels in it, probably better. Um, so for your upgrades, I'm using the aircraft restoration time. The second slot, we're using the AA gun firing range. The third slot, we are using concealment as always. And on the fourth slot, the air groups 3. Now, you could do a couple things here. Maybe the aircraft, you can see I was using the AA damage one for a little bit. I don't feel like that's super necessary on this ship. I much rather get the return speed quicker. You do kind of run out of planes if you're not careful. And for your bombers here, guys, um, these AP bombs are actually good at hitting cruisers and some battleships, right? If you're going to go after battleships, I would 100% go for like superstructures or light deck battleships. And the HE pens 37 millimeters, meaning you're pretty good on most things, unless you're going on the belt. I'll show you guys how to aim these things. Because I have a really good match to showcase this thing for you guys on what to do and what not to do. All right. Um, and then we're using the Azure Lane Camo for your specs, 51,000 health. You're hoping not to use that. But honestly, I got kind of focused by other carriers in the beginning of this thing. And you'll actually, I didn't shoot down many planes. The AA on this thing is not good base, but when you build into it, it actually gets pretty decent. And other carriers will leave it alone. In fact, in the beginning, I wasn't barely shooting any planes down, and we did end up having a clear sky in one of our matches. So for your dive bombers, you can kind of see every time you drop, it ends up being two planes on your on either your skip bombs or your dive bombers. Okay. The one thing I will say about the dive bombers is they don't feel super accurate to me. I had pretty decent luck going after cruisers, um, and it felt like the accuracy wasn't there. So you could do a battleships and kind of get the accuracy. The one thing this ship is really good at is actually taking out other carriers. If it isn't a formidable, because the deck, I kept shattering on deck with AP bombs on the formidable, believe it or not. But everything else, the other carriers, I was taking stabs at, had good luck with, right? So just so you're aware. Artillery, you do have secondaries, but you're hoping not to use them. AA defense, remember, we're boosting this, so it's a little bit better. You do take some of the carriers' planes down when they come close. Obviously, you don't have a lot out at distance, but when they get close to you and boosting it, it really does keep the carriers off you. I don't think that was luck. I think carriers got sick of losing their planes. In the beginning, I wasn't taking down any planes. Then I kind of switched from concealment to the AA buffs, and it really did help. Maneuverability, this thing obviously not super agile. Okay, this thing if you needed to turn, not ideal. A pretty long ship. Concealment 11.3. You could build it down. I can't remember what I had it down to. I think I had it down to like 10. I could be wrong on that. I can't remember. You could go concealment, but like I said, I got focus a lot, so I changed it to AA. You guys can see too. I practiced it in the AI matches and then took it out, and I struggled right away with this thing. And I can assure you, it was rough in the beginning. I wasn't shooting down planes, and I was getting messed up really quickly early on. Um, and once I switched it, right, then I had really good luck. In fact, I will show you in a second here because I'm gonna have two clips for you guys quick. Well, not really clips, just things here for it. So, but you can see I did struggle very early on, and you can see I died 4 times. My first 4 matches, the first 4 I lost. I died because of carriers, and you're gonna see I didn't get my clear sky in that one. I got my clear sky in a win later on. As you can see, though, I started to figure out the ship and started winning. These are the last matches I had. I think four or five wins in a row in this thing. Another thing I'm going to show you guys here quick is the skip bombs. Okay, my damage is a little bit low in this thing. I mean, I'm not a good carrier player, but these skip bombs, they skip and they kind of jump around. But man, if you can get on a destroyer, which you could really use these things for, and I recommend because I focus destroyers if given the opportunity in carriers, you can 100% just slap destroyers. As you can see in this clip, I only have 19,000 damage, and it's because I was only going after destroyers in this match, and I made their destroyers absolutely useless, and you can see a big hit there. Now for your armor, you don't have a whole lot, obviously. It's a carrier. We can look at the deck. I did actually look at what the deck was for. Let's see, take that off. All right, so we need to find it in here. Not used to, oh, so you have a 76 millimeter deck, so actually pretty solid. That's why I could not pen this thing very well with the AP bombs. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. I could AP. Or I could use the dive bombers on other carriers. So like we could take a quick look at Kaga. So as you can see, Kaga's not nearly as protected. In fact, most of the other carriers I didn't have no issue with. So we'll go back here and I'll show you guys here really quick. The AP bombs do pretty well against the other carriers. So you can see again, not that Formidable has a crazy deck compared to what everything else is. Like we could go here to Shokako. You can see there's no deck there, so you can use your AP bombs against the other carriers, and it works pretty well. Especially the skip bombs actually work good against other carriers. So given the opportunity, don't go out of your way, but destroyers and then carriers not too bad for this, right? To get rid of. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am a above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. That being said, I have a really good match for you guys to showcase. Is it my highest damage match? No, but this is going to show some things about the ship while I was learning this. I think was my first win in it, so my 5th game in. And you're going to see I learned some stuff in it, and well, while I was testing it out, because this is a learning experience for me as well. But we're gonna drop some planes off so we don't lose them all, right? We do have our HE skip bombers, and you do need to lead these things quite a bit. They skip pretty far out. I feel like they skip a little bit more than farther distance than Chekhov. You guys will see this here too. We're going to drop our planes here. One thing you should be doing in a carrier is dropping your planes. Also, I'm trying to find the destroyer, right? And what I'll do is if I find a destroyer, as you can see here, we're going to take and line this guy up. I see that destroyer there, and I let them know, my team know. I know they can see the thing on the map, but the reason you do that is you're letting them know what destroyer it is. It's not saying, hey, shoot the guy. It's putting it in chat so somebody that is a good player wants to know what destroyer is what. Especially other destroyer players. You see, I took a bad shot at the carrier there, but most of my other times I had good luck with the carriers. Now I go back out with HE bombs here. Another thing, guys, I had a mistake. I had forgot to have my mic off on this game. So you guys aren't hearing all game volume because all you will hear is my stupid butt mouth breathing. So we're gonna drop a couple a couple skip bombs, right? So we don't keep losing all our planes. If you're not careful, you will run out of planes really quick on it. But you're going to see here, we're going to go ahead and move up. And I feel like this game is a good showcase of being a team carrier player. And you can see here, I'm trying to figure out where this guy is. I thought he was going to come over here like a lot of destroyers do. And then at the very last second, when I go to skip bomb, then he spots out. So I can see him right there. And you can see my intent is a destroyer, right? You guys seen that these HE bombs you should be using against destroyers and helping your team get rid of destroyers. And I'm going to showcase that here in this match. The other thing is when you're using these skip bombers, try to layer them, right? Try to use them until they run out so you can layer fires on top of each other. Even though you may not be able to do a ton of damage with these things to battleships, as you can see here, we get a solid little hit on the destroyer. Even though you might not be able to get a bunch of damage on, on battleships, they have really good fire chance, right? So you should be using it. But you can see there my skip bombs, they kind of skip off to the side. And it might be other skip bombs as well. I haven't played a ton of the skip bombs like Chekhov. I didn't really play because it was so broken. I think I have 2 matches now or something with it after they got nerfed. But like I said, learning how to play carriers. Now, me and I think there is I can't remember what it is over here. There is a Duncan or something like that over here. And it's going to showcase some problems with the HE bombs I had, but it was a learning thing. We're going to go in here and just take a shot. I didn't really have a good way of going here, and I didn't know what was over here, so kind of a dumb move on my part there. But we're gonna go ahead, take a look around, see what's going on. These dive bombers will absolutely wreck cruisers if you get the accuracy on them. It's the one thing I struggled with on these AP bombs is accuracy. Even though the circle is pretty small, they go everywhere within that circle. Right here, you can see out of the 4, we only get 2 to hit, and one of them was a Citadel. And for some reason, this thing you can absolutely use against light armored battleships, and I feel like heavy cruisers, light cruisers as well. But so we're gonna go back out with the HEs. The HE is skip bombers, and at this point, I am just trying to help my destroyer over here a little bit here. And we're going to drop planes again. That's another thing. Like, you see your destroyers getting focused by carrier, put some of your planes out there to help him out and shoot down his planes. You can see we've already shot down 10 of his planes just by doing that. Also, this guy is stopped here. This is a bad drop. You want to be in between your lines a little bit. Although we do get pens, but we did have that one shatter. And you're going to see here, we're going to drop down. You want to be in between your lines, lines. Now, your first one here is you're going to see we get a solid hit. You can skip these once, as you saw there. And that's one of the reasons I want to use this video, is you can skip them once, and then get damaged. You know, we did a little bit there. And we're going back out again. So with that one little skill, you can get planes back quicker if you're low on them. I definitely recommend the HE skip bombs. I feel like you can affect the match more with them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, again, I'm trying to, I noticed that our destroyer was having issues with the carrier. So I'm going to keep putting planes down for him to help him out, right? And then also we're going to take and line up. Again, I'm too close to my line. The line is where they're bouncing. And if you just back it off just a little bit, you'll have so much more luck with these hitting like the upper side plating, because you don't want it to hit. Now, this is where you're going to see, I think, one of my deals. When you come up from too high over an island, these things will bounce right over ships off of the first bounce. And I actually recommend trying to line it up for your second bounce. Personally, myself, that will make it a lot easier. And that's one thing, another reason I wanted to showcase. You can see me when you're coming over mountains and you're skipping. If you skip from too high, they just leap over everything. And you're going to see me make that mistake a few times over here. So now we're kind of out of our HE. We're going to go over here, use the AP set. I dropped way too early. I was trying to hit the front of his deck. We get 2 overpens. Because of that, I was trying to hit like more right in front of the superstructure, just testing it. And then here, I want to go after the Hawk, because the Hawk is, kind of lightly armored for a battleship. And you're going to see we actually had some good luck with the HE, obviously, early. Here, we do get a shatter, and we do get a full pen, too. So you can see you can damage them. But again, with the AP, I feel like going after cruisers is your best bet. Obviously, with that going on, a little bit of a struggle. And I would, like I said too, I would have went after that other destroyer, but he was gone right away. Their other enemy destroyer. So in this ship, HE bombs to go get rid of the destroyers. And I know it isn't pretty, right? Like, you're not going to have these crazy damage totals going after destroyers, but you're going to help your team win. And once I started to figure out how to get the destroyers, like you seen in the last clip and then in this game, I definitely helped my team a lot. And I wasn't helping. As you can see, we absolutely get a good salvo. All full 4 shells hit him really well. And that's what I show you. If you go after the right ship, with these HE bombs are crazy, and they have really good fire chance too. I can't remember what it was. I know it's well over 30%, but you can see, again, coming over an island, right? Skips right over the ship. And I felt like this was such a good match to showcase because of that. Like, me making dumb mistakes on this Hawk. This Hawk, if there was a good aircraft carrier, or now that I know this, a good aircraft carrier player, this guy would have been gone so quick because we would have been able to stack 2 fires on him or another set of fires on him. And again, you're going to see over an island, same problem again here. And I'm trying to do my best, but you can see I'm like, ah, crap, maybe I'll just try on the first set. Didn't get it. But again, you can see, the issues, the learning curve I had with the skip bombs a little bit. Now I feel like the last game I went out in, I think was my 100,000 something one. This isn't gonna be the best game for damage, but you're kind of seeing how to use this ship, right? Also with the ATP bombs, it's definitely better to go head on and not do what I'm doing here. But you can see here, the accuracy wasn't bad there, but sometimes it can really struggle with that. Again, one thing you should be doing in carriers all the time is figure out where to put your planes down, right? Your fighter planes that can sit there and shoot down the carrier, right? And so we do spot the carrier for our team always at the end of the match. Even though you may not be spotting it for your whole team, you should try to find the carrier. As you can see here, we're going to get a solid hit on the Kaga, right? Full pins, it didn't overpin, and that's what I meant. This thing is significantly good at getting rid of other carriers. I was really actually surprised about that. As you can see here, we're going to go out. And then again, now I see he's dropping over here. So we're going to try to use our guys to help shoot down his planes. Again, I'm just helping make a difference here. You got to be a team player in carriers, right? I helped my destroyer. I protected him. You got to protect ships that don't have good AA. Also, try to get rid of carriers when you can. And then here we're going to line up on the carriers. Well, somebody absolutely slapped him. Pretty good there. And you're going to see I'm going to try to get it in between right there. He does end up driving into it a little bit. But again, really good pens on the carrier. Like this thing, that wasn't the only match I've had good luck with going after carriers if they get too aggressive. But hopefully this is what you guys wanted. This was a highly requested video, believe it or not. But you can see not the most damage in the world, but I definitely helped our team win. Like I said, if you can stack them fires together on them HE bombs, you could have some really crazy games in it. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time. Have a good one.